So we're here talking with Debra Blacklock-Sloan. And Deborah is a historian. She is a genealogist. She knows everything about history in Houston, Texas. You name it, she knows it,
You're
right?
gonna get me in trouble. You're gonna get me in trouble. Oh my God. Okay.
Now we met, the background here is that we met, I found your Facebook page for Oak Park Cemetery. And I was trying to find someone who could, because I don't live in Houston, I don't live
Mhm.
anywhere near uh, this.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you're not in Houston. I
That's
forgot
right.
that.
Yeah. I'm in
Okay.
Florida, so
Okay, that's right. Oh
I
my. Oh
I
my
can't just swing by
God.
and check things out. But I found you, and
Mhm.
you were so gracious enough to take my call, hear me out, and figure out where my grandparents were buried and send me a photograph because my grandmother's headstone was unmarked for many years.
Mhm.
My mother, with the help of my sister, they sent in a transcription to be placed on the stone, which never happened back in the 60s for whatever
Mhm.
reason.
Mhm.
And that work was done, but then we didn't have a visual to know how it looked in the end
Mhm.
until
Mhm.
you went out there. And so, face to face, us meeting for the first time, thank you so much.
My
We
pleasure.
appreciate that.
I
We
enjoy doing
appreciate your
that.
diligence
Thank you.
to go out there and find it. And I wanted to talk a little bit about history because I think the first time we talked, you told me that you are how did you describe it? You said when it comes to cemeteries, people kind of look at you a little differently.
I am a self-prescribed cemetery nut. So I keep a pair of rubber boots in the back of my truck, just in case people like you say, hey, can you look for my grandmother's or grandfather's headstone? And so I keep boots in my truck today. And but cemeteries are such a beautiful, oh, maybe can I call them an organism or whatever? It's something about the way they were laid out. And when you think about the early founders of cemeteries, those black cemeteries, Carlton, this was intentional. The way the graves are laid out, the plants that are planted there, the headstones, all of that, the roads that have the names of famous pioneer Houston, that's all intentional. And they had charters. They had charters, and so these people were serious about these cemeteries. And so what I like to think, one of the things I like to think is that those people buried in the cemetery are the reason that I'm sitting here talking to you today. We have been afforded so many privileges because of, like you said earlier, your grandfather fighting, being in the NAACP, all these organizations. And so these were the movers and shakers, but even the people who weren't movers and shakers, those people contributed to the building of Houston. No matter if they were janitor or domestic, those people buried there, they contributed and they deserve respect. And that is what is bothering me, that what's happening to Black cemeteries. The desecration, the development, the erosion that's happening. And so I'm just saddened when I hear about these things. I really am.
Do you remember the first time where you said, "This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get in here and start cleaning up and clearing some of this land and restoring these cemeteries back to what they used to be."
That was probably in 2006 or seven. And, not ironically, but on purpose, I was asked to help clean Olivewood Cemetery, one of the oldest Black cemeteries, established 1875. And we think it's on a plantation because there are headstones that are dated before 1875. And Carlton, little, beknownst to me, I have two uncles buried there. My mother didn't know that.
Wow.
And so, but I kept coming back to the cemetery to clean. And so we call that Olivewood itis. When you have to keep coming back, it's like the ancestors are drawing you back there. And so, yeah, that would have been about 2006, 2007. And then I got a historical marker for the cemetery right out the bayou because when they most of the graveyards are near the water, symbolic, they're near there. But it's a beautiful cemetery. The headstones, I mean, you could tell the financial wealth by the headstones. It's a beautiful place. You've got to go and visit it.
And I saw that, one of the news stations was out in, I believe it was Oak Park, and there was
Hmm.
really run down grave sites and open
Right.
graves and that type of thing. Um, Talk to me a little bit about the struggle just to get folks to who
Well,
owns the property, identify the ownership and get some work done in that respect.
Well, we don't know who the owner is, and so because I have family buried out there, it's just my job to help maintain it. And so, with the question regarding, we'll call it vandalism and desecration. This is the final resting place of people. That should be, they should not be disturbed. Those vaults and crypts should not be broken into. And so people don't understand the respect that goes with cemeteries, And so we don't understand it. Sometimes we come in, Carlton, and we see where they've done little rituals or whatever. They have little crosses and little things. And what my grandmother would say is voodoo. But just little rituals that have happened. But people don't get they don't get the cemeteries. They don't get it. And they don't think about, suppose this was your loved one's crypt and I'm vandalizing it. They don't think about that. It really makes me sad when I think about it. And so we're taking photos just because to make sure that nothing new has happened. And
Mm.
people are coming in, people still statuary, you know, marble and all of that stuff. And I'm thinking, well, why? It's disrespectful. It really is.
It's not just names
Mm-hmm.
on marble, these
Right.
real people and
Mm-hmm.
lives who did
Mm-hmm.
things, who made it possible for us to even be here. And it's
Yes.
like you're bringing some respect to that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the other thing is, that part of the cemetery is the oldest part of 1930. And so again, it was owned by Paradise Funeral Home. It was sold because I've got a binder of research on it. I'll show it to you. But nobody wants to own it, claim it. And so since there's no perpetual care, the guys stopped cleaning it. And it's so sad. So when people come in to the entrance to go to Golden Gate, they're looking like, why does the cemetery look this way? It's terrible. It really is. And again, this is one of the oldest cemeteries on the north side of Houston. It really is. It really is. And had a board, was founded by a white organization, a white board, and then some black ministers bought some lots. And so they really wanted to monopolize. Those white board members said no more burials in Olivewood and College Park and Evergreen. Everybody needs to come out here because those black cemeteries are not being kept up. And that was such a lie. And so when they widened Lockwood Drive, they got a contract to move some of those bodies over in Oak Park Cemetery. So, but again, it deserves way more respect than that. It really, really does. And I don't get why people don't get it. And the guys that were cleaning it, they were told to stop cleaning it. So I don't know. It just makes me sad.
Have you ever heard from someone who said your work has inspired us to do some cleanup at another cemetery?
Yeah, people have said that. Yeah. And that's what we want. We want them to catch that fever, to understand. And some of the problem is that a long time ago, I've been coming to that cemetery since I was 5. So because I know that's our family cemetery, we have people buried in Golden Gate. But because of that, I know it's there. And people used to come and clean their family's plot and put flowers on it. I call it Decoration Day. And there's still a few plots when you come in at the very beginning. People are putting flowers there, but people don't do that anymore. And maybe people haven't told their family members that your relatives are buried here. Because if they did, we'd have more people out there cleaning up, more family members. We're really trying to reach out to them, Carlton, to come out and, at least keep up your family's plot. There's some family plots out there. And but it's just not happening. Not happening.
So at its peak, we're talking 30s, 40s, 50s,
Probably 50s because it
60s.
was founded in 30s.
Um, if
Yeah,
if you're Black and you have family that lived in Houston who died in Houston during that time, there's
right.
a good chance your people are buried out there.
And we're starting on a database pretty soon. And we just need to figure out where it's going to live so people can, just like when you contacted me, we'll do a database, a website, and you can just type in a name and it'll populate.
Because you actually had a photograph of my grandfather's first wife,
Mm-hmm.
Nessie. She died of an aneurysm while playing the piano in church in San Antonio,
Mm-hmm.
1920.
Wow.
He had
Wow.
her body moved from its
Mm-hmm.
burial place in San Antonio
Mm-hmm.
to Houston.
And so wait a minute. So where's the other wife?
So my grandfather, his first wife, and his second wife,
That's what I thought,
they're
Carlton.
all
Okay.
buried together.
That's right. I like it.
Mhm. Wow.
I love it. Wow.
No, but this is
Wow.
great. I really appreciate the work that you're doing, and I think it sets a really good example for people um, who are interested in history, but who are also interested in preserving history. And so, I just am so thankful that I was able to find you, that you were able to connect some dots for our family, and I'm sure you're motivating other folks out there too.
Shout out to the Omega Psi Phi fraternity, the new chapter. I hope I got that right. They've been out there 3 times. I don't have to call them, Carlton. They say, Deborah, we're coming. We're coming on the Saturday. Because I think they love the cemetery too. And so, but when they come out there, I come out there and I'm taking photos of them and I'm hoping more fraternities will, join the bandwagon. Because Carlton, if the Omegas can clean it from January to March, and then another fraternity cleans it from April to May. If we four in quarters, we could keep that cemetery maintained.
Four
But
times a year.
4 times a year. But I want people to know that how special cemeteries are, and they are really, I'll call them genealogical classrooms, because we could take our children out there and say there's nothing to be afraid of. This is where your ancestors are buried. This is what they did when they were living. So it's a classroom. It's an outdoor classroom, you know? And so again, just reading the information on the headstones, what people did for a living, whether they were a Mason or a veteran, it's just intriguing to me and I love it.
Mm.